Listen, imperialistic. Listen, America. You need a visa.
There's no more just walking in.
No. These Americans and these imperialistic countries, they have the habit of walking into African countries like they're walking into their kitchen. They just walk in. They just come. I'm coming. I'll book a flight. I'll see you tomorrow. You will see us tomorrow. You're coming from the other side of the freaking world, and I'll come. Some of them can just come with their freaking pajamas. That's how they treat Africa.
No, they need to now also consider planning ahead. It's no more on a whim.
They're still doing it. Most African countries out here that are being led by puppets are not listening to the president of Namibia. They're not listening to this woman. Some of these men are not listening to women. It's time men start listening to women.
Get over your egos, men.
Yes, they need
the
to
women
listen
are
to women.
here.
Yeah, that's why I love Namibia. We need to try something different. I love the fact that we are experiencing something different.
Yes.
Let's see what a woman can do. Let's see how a woman can lead. Okay, let's already involve certain people here, because some people will come out here with their religion and their faith and talk about leadership positions and gender and what does your Bible say about women? Can a woman stand up and lead or even preach? It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. The Bible says the man leads, the woman follows.
Yes, it does say the woman shall submit to their husbands. But that's in a different situation.
Even in the context of leadership itself, a woman cannot stand up on a podium there and start preaching and teaching and all this stuff. This Christian Bible says it.
Yeah, it does.
Our Bible. Shall we just ignore that part now? A human being, it can be selective. Huh? I choose to follow this word, not that word.
I choose to follow it in this way. I maneuver it this way so that it suits my lifestyle at the moment.
But we are happy. I'm happy. I want to see something different. I like the moves that the president, that Nandi is making. Mrs. Nandi, I'm so sorry, madam. Sorry. The rules also is learning. We live and we learn. But the rules is so authentic. The rule is not upset, but he's just got too much inside him that he wants to take out, to say. And a lot of it stems from the point that I'm disappointed in the many freaking puppets that are leading our countries. You know? Our countries.
Yeah, she's making a change. So she's doing things in support.
Change.
She's making changes. She's making positive changes to suit the country's global image. Yes, she's changing the global image. She's no more stepping on this country.
She's changing the country to suit what? Global image.
To change the perception of Namibia on the global stage.
Okay. What do people think of Namibia right now?
For me, I just think that they're just...
It's just a touristical place.
Yeah, touristical place. It's just another African country. They're not thinking too much about it.
It's just a touristical place. Bhutan, desert. Some people know the history. Some people know the history. Some folks don't know the history because Namibia has never really made it on the map. Any singers, any sports stars from Namibia? You shouldn't have to think about it. It should just hit you bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you think football, Maradona.
Yeah.
Kofi Olomide, Papa Wemba, Fali Ipupa, Papet Kagame. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Any global icon, any global situation about Namibia. The only thing I know, not the only thing I know, I'm so sorry, I'm so humble out here. The main things I know about Namibia is the desert.
Yes.
Is the Bulton meat. Bulton, Windhoek.
Yes.
And back in the days when I was still a little bit reckless here and there, I indulged in the Windhoek beer.
Oh, Windhoek, yes.
Windhoek,
yes. Yeah.
Windhoek beer.
That's about the only thing that I know really from them. The Windhoek.
Really?
Yeah.
You're about to learn more today.
that I used to know.
Much love from Christchurch, New Zealand, Robin Kingi. Much love to you. Appreciate you very much.
Much love,
Thank
much
you
love.
for joining. Welcome everybody to the show. We're just getting started. Today we are in another country in the southern part of Africa, southwest of Africa, in Namibia. Namibia used to be a part of South Africa.
It used to be, yes. That's why sometimes, like when you speak to Namibian, they speak exactly, the accent is exactly like a South African. So you can't really tell the difference unless
Namibia.
you say something to them. Yeah, they
Really?
tell you that you're from Namibia.
Fun fact about Namibia. Since they used to be ruled by the South Africans, from that 1915 to 1990, they used to use the rand, the currency of the rand. Even till this day, you can use the rand.
Yeah.
It's sort of accepted here. There's the Namibian dollar now, but you can still use the rand there in that
Yeah.
Namibia. Because South Africa's got its footprint there. Yes.
It's made its mark, yes. It was there for long, so obviously, yes. It's
South
hard to
Africa.
get it
That's a
out.
long
And it's
time,
so
huh?
close. It's a neighboring country, of course.
Their neighbors. Look, you have to think about that time also. From that 1915 all the way to that 1990, it was those
Those
white
people.
Afrikaners, that mentality that existed during the South African apartheid days, it was still those same people because they were ruling. It was under the rule of South Africa.
Yes.
South Africa was ruling Namibia. These ones, that's why they sometimes think too much of themselves, huh? Look, because that's the only situation where I can see like another African country ruling another African country. So what happened in South Africa is the Dutch came there
Yeah.
through the Cape of Bonne Espérance, and then they did the hanky-pankies and left, right, and center, and an Afrikaner was born. A South African Boer was born.
Yes.
And that South African Boer also went on with his
Lifestyle.
colonizing tactics of undermining Africans around the neighborhood, around the continent, neighboring countries.
They were greedy and they just tried to take some lands.
And that particular Namibia fell victim to South Africa. South Africa came there to rule that Namibia from 1915 to 1990, impose the currency and impose their way of life. It was under South African rule.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's the same system still. And it's still sort of like the same system there when it comes to land formation. Land formation.
Because they also went in there and they took the land from the black Namibians back.
From
yeah,
the
basically.
indigenous people.
Yes.
It's not necessarily these descendants of... Because Namibia was colonized by the Germans. You see, in that 1884, when those greedy ass white folks, those Europeans, those colonizers set in Berlin to carve up the motherland,
Yes.
that's when that Germany got a piece of Africa to take that piece of Namibia.
Yeah.
They carved it up and they took Namibia from 1884 to 1915. The Germans.
Yeah.
That same year, 1984, when they carved things up because of King Leopold, who was who made the biggest discovery, who enticed every colonizer to come to Africa to carve up this whole place, because Congo, that's where it all started, with King Leopold.
Yes.
King Leopold, through his discoveries and through his many tries to try to get to the center of Africa. Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, used to be known as the white man's grave.
Yes.
Because they couldn't get there.
They didn't want to go in there because there was
They
just
wanted to go in there.
yeah, but they didn't want. They wanted to, yes, but they didn't want to because they couldn't. They didn't know how to navigate through there because of the malaria and all the diseases.
But they wanted, but there were certain obstacles. They couldn't get in there because of the many different obstacles and factors that was hindering them from getting there.
Yes.
But that King Leopold, that evil soul, who unalived 20 million Congolese,
Oh,
who was chopping them up if they didn't meet their daily target. Listen, when
he
you
basically
guys
did it
go
for
out
fun.
there, you guys go out there and bring so many, whatever natural resources or whatever their daily targets were. Those slaves that he had, those workers, those laborers, if they didn't meet their daily targets, certain limbs would be cut off.
And what was he even thinking when he wasn't even thinking, because how can they meet the daily targets? The supposed daily targets if he keeps on cutting off limbs. Of course, he was doing it for fun.
Look, he was doing it also to teach a lesson to the other ones that were still there. There was a lot of people.
Yeah, of course.
This is what happens when you don't bring back gold or timber. If you don't bring back timber, this is what will happen, because timber was booming. A lot of things were booming that time in Europe.
Yeah.
So let's go to this freaking Africa and just steal and just take and teach them a lesson. So the white man's grave in the Democratic Republic of Congo, King Leopold did that. And as a result, the Europeans, or those colonizers, because the colonizers used to fight before. They used to fight before up there in Europe.
Yeah.
Up there in Europe, sorry. There's another fact here, there's another information here that's around, that apparently Europe is not up there. You understand? It's the other way around. It's down there. Oh, there's so much we can't necessarily believe even the history books. Who said that the map of Africa is the way that it's supposed to be? Because even the actual size of Africa is bigger than what we are told. Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that needs to be analyzed, because we can't just believe what we have been told from the historians.
From the historians, from the victors.
Yes.
It's victors who wrote history. So these colonizers would fight up there a lot. And then they would even fight among each other to a point where they would even destroy the things that they were building as colonizers up there, the different types. But so now when it came time to Africa, when that freaking King Leopold finally made it to the center, to the Democratic Republic of Congo, to the white man's grave at the time, they said to themselves, okay, there's a way now. King Leopold has discovered a route. We can treat, we can cure,
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. We have everything, all the resources to get into this land. But we have to learn from our past mistakes, says the colonizers.
Yeah.
Before that particular meeting in Berlin. That's what initiated that meeting in Berlin in 1884. The mistakes they've made before, and the fact that they fought between each other for land and colonies and
Yeah,
governance
they
of
all
different
wanted
colonies.
space.
They all wanted their own, but they wanted to do it properly.
They wanted there to be order in the way they got their land.
Yes, according to them,
Yes.
this was the right way to do it. To sit in that freaking Berlin, in that meeting.
And put a whole big board there and have all the African countries or states there and just say, you can have that, you can have that.
You know, colonialism and just this spirit of going there to conquer these people and to do whatever it is that we want to do is so cruel, it's unbelievable. Because in this particular case, for example, with these colonizers, they don't even consult. They're so freaking confident that they will make it there. They're already sharing land where they know there's people there.
Yeah.
They know, because they've been going there before. They know that there's indigenous people living in this Africa, but they don't even consult any one of them.
They don't say, would you want to be under British rule or would you want to be under French rule?
They don't even go and check if one of them is superior or black magic or voodoo, nothing. They decide to put on their suits and sit in that meeting and start arguing.
Yeah. Fighting for this land.
Fighting for pieces of land that they individually wanted.
Yes.
Some of them would say, no, I want to be in West Africa because. No. What have you done? What did you do? Whatever. The other one would say, no, I want to be here. I want to be here. They fought for it. It wasn't just a very cordial meeting, discussion, and everybody's happy. And yes, bah. You know?
Yeah.
So even the psychological part of that part, just to think that these people set up there to just carve up Africa like that is so crazy to think of. So anyway, it's still in that 1884, Namibia was given to the Germans.
And they decided to call it the German Southwest Africa.
Yes. Southwest Africa.
Yes.
The Germans. Even major land formation there. Till this day, a lot of... Namibia also is similar to South Africa.
Regarding the land reform.
No, not regarding the land reform, regarding the land as it is right now. There's no reform, we want reform. You understand? We want reform from that unfair situation that currently exists there. But it's similar to South Africa in terms of the minority own the majority of the land. In South Africa, that's 7% of white Afrikaner Boers own more than 70%.
Yes.
Same as in this Namibia, where 8%, the minority of the white descendants of the Germans, they own like almost 80% of the land. Land that was violently taken from the indigenous people of Namibia. This Africa is just, it's still a pot of a mess. It's like there's so many freaking ingredients in this, whatever freaking casserole. And we need to throw the whole thing off and start cooking a new dish. You understand what I'm saying?
It needs to boil for long.
No,
to be
we
able
first need to empty the casserole. But
scrub the pot.
When I say empty the casserole, I'm not saying any form of genocide or telling people to leave. No. In terms of land formation, land ownership.
Yes.
They're trying to find a solution on a mess. Like in South Africa there. Same thing as in Namibia. These people are out here meeting all the time in these freaking buildings, acting like freaking grown-ups and leaders of countries, while they are working on a wrong footing. The foundation first. This land was taken from indigenous people aggressively, forcefully, with so much atrocities committed. You can't just come there just because it's 1990 in the case of Namibia, or it's 1994 in the case of South Africa, and call it an independent or a democracy or whatever, and just continue on with that same land formation.
No. Things need to change. If you're saying things are going, 1990, you're giving us our independence, we need to change things. So the land has to go back into the government's hands properly, and, people can buy it, own it again, on a fair way.
People are already buying land. People own property here and there, but majority of the land and the natural resources, especially that land that's used for commercial use for the public's interest, must be in the hands of a corrupt-free government.
Yes.
How many corrupt-free governments do we have in Africa? I know the same questions should also be asked in the world because everybody is corrupt. I know everybody's corrupt. But let's just keep it within the motherland. Corruption is the main thing here.
Yes.
Why a lot of people... This is why these Afrikaners, this Namibia podcast has to always talk about these South Africans also. There's very similar situations there. So that's why we keep going back to South Africa. But don't worry, it's Namibia. Namibia is the main, is Nandi, the president. The first lady is the president.
Of Namibia.
They have a first gentleman.
Yes, they do actually. Yes, they have a first gentleman.
And they have a second gentleman.
Yes.
Because
Because
tell them,
the vice president is also a female.
yes, and they have a third gentleman.
Yes, the national speaker of the house is also a female.
Yes, the speaker is also a female.
Yes.
So they have three gentlemen there.
In high positions.
And the name of the president of Namibia is what? The first name is already... What's the first name?
Netumbo.
Netumbo
Yes.
Nandi-Ndaitwah.
Nandi-Ndaitwah.
Triple N.
Yes.
It's three.
Yes.
So that's why she also came. The president must be a woman. The vice president must be a woman. The speaker must be a woman. So everybody must expect things in threes. She's not going to come up here and make one decision only and you think that's it. You must expect two more in relation to that particular department.
Yes.
Yes. So we have to continue to mention South Africa as we mentioned Namibia. Because like we said, in Namibia, you can still use the South African rand there. Yes. But what did I want to say? I wanted to say something extremely important now. Where did it go? My brain sometimes works in a very funny way. Things will go this way, but I know it's going to come back this way again. But let's keep it in there. But so the similarities between South Africa and Namibia.
They will always be there, yes. But eventually I think it will go away.
The important thing is back.
Oh.
The important genius thing is back. You know this land, since we're talking about land in Namibia and we're talking about land in South Africa. We're talking about repatriation of land without compensation. The orange man comes to mind, I'm sure. Yes, Cyril Ramaphosa, the meeting that we had in the White House recently.
Yes.
All of that is a result of the fact that that particular 7% in South Africa, those white minorities, descendants of the Dutch, those Afrikaners,
Yes.
don't want repatriation of land reform in South Africa, whether it's with compensation or even without compensation. They just don't want that. They want to remain the minorities who own majority of the land, real estate. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
In that Namibia, we also needed repatriation of land without compensation. That's why we're starting to see also in Namibia, especially in the last couple of weeks, where certain surveys are being done, because there's some born Namibian there, some descendants,
Yes,
some
that-
white folks there.
And they
born
only
there.
know about the land that they have grown up on.
Same situation
Yes.
as in South Africa.
So they don't want to give it up. Why are you talking now about, in 2025, why are you talking about land reform without, land repatriation without compensation? For what?
They were born there.
Yes, it's my land.
As South Africa, these Afrikaners who were born in South Africa, they don't want to hear about this repatriation of land. Well, it's with repatriate what? I was born here. This generation.
Yes.
But we're talking on a national level as a country, everything needs to be done right. The land needs to go back into the hand of its rightful owner. And the rightful owner are the indigenous people. And the indigenous people will forever rule now these governments because people can vote now.
Yeah.
Understand? So that minority of 7% there in South Africa, those white Afrikaners, they can never win general elections, majority win and win the government.
Yes.
It's impossible.
It's an important thing to know that also, and Cyril Ramaphosa also said it in the recent weeks, that South Africa is the only country that hasn't kicked out its colonizers. So they need to know that the indigenous people are black in Africa.
Who needs to know?
Those people that don't want to give up the land, because how did they get that land? They took it forcefully from the indigenous people. There
Which
was
people?
never the white people.
Afrikaner.
The Afrikaners, yes.
Yes.
They need to know that those Afrikaners, they took the land forcefully from the indigenous African people.
Actually, it's not the Afrikaners, it's the Dutch people. The Dutch people took the land forcefully from the indigenous people.
Yes.
And through the Dutch, and in South Africa, the Dutch, there was also some people from Spain, from Italy, from France. Some people that also came there that also participated in the hanky-pankies.
Yes, that's why it's a rainbow nation in South Africa.
That produced the Afrikaner. It's a rainbow nation because we have blacks who are indigenous. We have the Zulus, we have the Twas who also came in. I mean the Twanas, not the Twas, the Twanas. It's a rainbow nation because of color,
Yes.
not because of Spain or whatever.
Yeah, it's a combination that they made with the indigenous people. There's different skin colors in South Africa.
Yes, but it's simply a rainbow nation because of the Indian, the coloreds, the white Afrikaner who's a descendant of the Dutch people and some other European nation that were part of the people that came through Cape of Good Hope
Yes.
in Simonstown. Yes, but what I wanted to say regarding this freaking repatriation of land without compensation is that these puppets that sit in these buildings, these leaders, I don't see a day where a freaking policy will be taken and then suddenly everybody accepts the new policies.
There will always be pushback.
Yes, from these different freaking institutions.
Yes. Why you want to change the status quo now? We were working quite fine. There was no problems. There was no protest. There was no negative people saying anything about our country.
They'll always come out here and find reasons to oppose the desperate land reform we need in South Africa and in Namibia.
Yeah.
For example, we need the people, we the people, we the majority. In this particular case, or we the indigenous people. The 90%. In South Africa, it's the 90%. You know, wait a minute. You must also think of those other groups of people that also own the land. Huh? In South Africa, for example,
Yeah.
70% of the land ownership the Afrikaners have, the white minority, the 7%. And these other like minorities of people compared to the majority of the blacks or the Africans,
Yeah.
like the Indians. The Indians in South Africa have more of the land also than the black South Africans.
The Gupta flavors.
The Gupta flavors. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They don't have such a huge percentage. I think they have like 6 or 7% or something like that of the land. More than that, actually. More than that. So the blacks are the ones with like
7%.
7% of the land there in terms of ownership. That's why we don't even talk about it. But even the coloreds own more of the land
Than actual.
than blacks.
Yes.
So every single group in South Africa, the Afrikaners, the Indians, the coloreds, they all have a huger portion of the land than the freaking majority of the 90% of the country, the blacks.
Jeez. Black South Africa. We need to change that, man. Come on.
And so now, Cyril Ramaphosa in South Africa, for example, is fighting for repatriation of land without compensation. Economic freedom fighter Julius Malema, repatriate this land without compensation. So much pushback coming left, right, and center. So much pushback. Only the people. I don't want to say they must threaten a civil freaking war out here, but it's only through threatening a freaking civil war that everybody will come down here and actually say, okay, freaking hell, we need to really think about this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
The Native American need justice. Even the Native Americans. So now these exactly, my friend. So these Afrikaners, for example, we're still coming back to Namibia. We're warming up here. It's the first 30 minutes. We have to give you context because that Namibia was also ruled by South Africa. Like I said before at the beginning, from which year? From 1915
Yes.
to 1990. Sure, that's a long time, huh? That is a
very
freaking
long
long time. How long is that? Like 75 years. South Africa ruled Namibia. Whew. No wonder Namibia, whatever is established there in Namibia, is the doing of South Africa, of
Yeah.
apartheid South Africa.
So they were also basically had that apartheid system because they
course.
were there, 1990. So it only changed for them in 1990 where they said, okay, there's no more of that.
Because it was in 1990 that the abolishment of apartheid in South Africa started happening. You know, and then only in 1994 was there elections. It was 1990 until 1990. That's when it was doo-doo.
Yeah.
Okay, elections to usher in elections. So South Africa was also ruling this beautiful Namibia.
Yes.
You see these white folks, these European, these Germans who were viciously and violently ruling over the indigenous people of Namibia. That 8% that still currently live there as a result of those people, the descendants. They only went after the most beautiful places
Yes, they
of that
take,
Southern Africa. This is why in South Africa we have Phil Craig.
he wants to take the beautiful Western Cape, where all the wines are, the beautiful beaches are, the mountains, everything.
Yes.
Why you want to take that?
The mother city.
Yes.
The mother city. You know, at Cape Town International, they have welcome to the mother city.
Yeah.
Which mother of who? Mother of what? Why do they call it the mother city? Can you ask something there or someone there? Why do they call Cape Town? Do we have any South Africans in here? Why do they call the mother city, Cape Town, the mother city? Look at Chicago. What about Chicago? Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Like the live, support the live, and all that. We're still getting started. We're still warming up. Who is this? Jonathan, censorship is weak. What do you mean by that? I don't understand what you mean by that.
So Cape Town is called the mother city because it was the first major urban settlement in South Africa, established as a refreshment station for the ships by the Dutch East Indian Company in 1652. So basically it's because of, it's the first urban settlement in South Africa. It's called the mother city.
Mother
So
city for
mother
who?
city you give for South Africa.
I don't understand. I don't understand why it would be called the mother city because of those freaking people who needed a break.
Well, the term mother city is in reference to Cape Town, is a representation of colonialism. It perpetuates the claim that modern civilization only began at the Cape with the arrival of the Dutch settlers in 1652.
We need to change the name then. We shouldn't refer to it as the mother city.
The representation of colonialism.
That's what they call it, the mother city.
No, thank you.
That's what it's. Are you sure this is what it says there?
That's what it says. Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll look deeper into that. Otherwise, the rules will never call it the mother city again.
No
I'll
way.
just call it Cape Town. Even Cape Town, who named it Cape Town?
Them.
Who named it the Cape?
The Dutch. The Dutch
Because
settlers.
They should have changed all these freaking names there. They should have changed them. Because it just... So these Dutch people, even the descendants of the main colonizers, they in Dutch, when they look there, they say, oh, so in history we did that, huh? The newborn, the current generation of the Dutch people. So they look at South Africa down there and they go, you people, we the one who colonized you. You know, you get some rude people out here
Yes.
who were never even a part of that time. They were not in that time. They were never there. But these freaking names. This is why even Julius Malema comes out here and fights for the removal of all these freaking apartheid statues
Yeah.
that are still freaking standing there in Cape Town.
There's a lot of them.
Even in that Orania. In fact, actually, Orania is even the worst because it's got statues of the worst apartheid people, individuals. These freaking Oranians or these freaking Afrikaners who are out here, Oranians.
You gave them.
Yeah, these people who were a part of this apartheid system who are out here to lie and say, we're only doing this for the preservation of our culture.
But Afrikaner culture, no, it's they want to preserve the culture of racism.
Yes.
That is what you are doing, Orania and Kleinfontein.
That's why I don't mix my words with them when I speak about these matters.
Because why else would they have the statues of Hendrik Verwoerd and be there and say, this
Hendrik
is
Verwoerd.
Hendrik Verwoerd, the
That guy-
initiator of apartheid.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Hendrik Verwoerd statues in that Namibia. That Hendrik Verwoerd had things to say. Whoever was ruling, he was ruling in South Africa there,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Wasn't he the prime minister or something?
Prime Minister of South Africa.
During that time.
Yes.
So he was in charge of Namibia. That Hendrik Verwoerd.
So there's definitely statues around there and some history books saying that this is the guy.
Whatever land formation, however the land is divided right now, that system there, those particular Hendrik Verwoerd, there's some descendants there in that Namibia who are also living on grounds or on land that does not belong to them. That was stolen by their freaking grand, whatever, the previous generation. And so it's these little descendants here, or these little new generation that are out here saying, no, why do you want to fight for my land that was taken 100 years ago? Why you want to take my land that was taken 100 years ago from indigenous people? They could have also taken it from other people.
These are people that don't understand. They just want to, don't touch my land, man. It's for my kids in the future. Leave my land alone.
Yes, Jonathan, got you. Yes, so Namibian president, a female president, it's about time that we stop listening to male leaders first, says Namibia. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not saying that it should only be women out here to lead, but she's making swift changes.
And she's making it fast because she's seen. But she was also previously the vice president from 2024 to 2025 before she became president. She was only for 1 year. But she's making the changes and swiftly because she studied the way that predecessor of a man did it. And now, no, this is not the way. You need to just act fast.
She used to be a freedom fighter also. Nandi, the president of Namibia, this particular woman. And since she was a freedom fighter, even though she belongs, that same party, what's the name of the party in Namibia?
SWAPO.
SWAPO. This particular SWAPO has been the ruling party since 1990.
SWAPO, yeah, they've been ruling since 1990, but they developed in 1960 as a liberation movement.
Yes. In 1960, there were a liberation movement, which eventually in the 1990, they got whatever, and now, but they're still in power now.
Yeah.
Power has never shifted to a different party.
But they've always been like sort of on the edge. People started saying, this one it's a corrupt
They've been
government.
corrupt even before her.
Yeah.
They've been corrupt. They've never really made changes. Namibia is one of those countries that's been sleeping also for some time. I can't just keep giving you praises because of your lady. This is the rules. I have to be original. You've been sleeping for some time until this particular lady came.
Yes.
Yes, they've just decided to just be a touristical hub. Come and see what the apartheid regime built. Come and see what South Africa built for us. That's how Namibia has been living their lives before this new lady, before this president, before this woman that I like that's out here showing imperialism and everybody else. Listen here, we're going to do it our way. You shall respect us. If we need a visa to come there, you need a freaking visa to come here. I like her, but I have to say the truth out here. They've been sleeping. Yeah. On the architecture and the system that South Africa put on them. South Africa, who also got it from the freaking Dutch. It's been a apartheid, one-sided, unbeneficial type of system for the indigenous people or the locals for a long time.
Yes.
That's why she's out here, and some of her mandates also. Number one also, I don't know if it's number one in no particular order, is to fight corruption.
Yay.
Before her, it's the reason why it's one of her pillars, to fight corruption.
Yeah.
And to boost economy.
Yeah.
And, which the third one that I also agree a lot, is to fight these things of gender inequality.
Yes, that
gender
thing.
inequality is one of her big things.
Yeah, of course, and because obviously she's had a long life. I mean, she's 72 years old, so she's felt that thing of being marginalized just because she's a woman. Yes. That she can't do things. So that's going to be at the top of her list.
She's always had a passion to accomplish stuff as a freedom fighter.
Yes.
You understand? And she's faced a lot of challenges. And she said to herself, action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. So, I don't care. I'm paraphrasing here. Okay, I'm assuming. I'm assuming here. I'm assuming she probably came out here and said, it's time to pick the cabinet. Okay, I don't want to hear anything about men. I have to make a point here. I'm sure there are some men that are capable of being the vice president, but no, I need a woman. Speaker, I also need a woman. In fact, Give me 9 cabinet positions. 60% of this government will be women. I'm sure she decided on that one. She was saying it to herself. This is what it's going to be. I have to make a point here because the 3 pillars that I'm fighting for here is corruption, is gender equality, and is to boost the economy. I'm gonna show them that us women, we can fight corruption, we can build the economy, and we can lead.
Yes, man. As women, we are going to fix this Namibia, and we're going to boost it to the best of our ability.
Yes.
No, and she's probably felt like, I was like, and I can't do that with a man trying to mansplain things to me when I'm trying to make these swift decisions. I need to speak to women who can be decisive.
Yes. Also because I'm here to do things, to try different things. Same things, the same things you people have been doing hasn't brought us anywhere.
Yeah.
Even the whole freaking world, look at how many freaking wars there are around. Because men are in charge. Would they weak balls? With their conniving freaking ways. Look at they freaking fighting out here. There's some women who also get pissed off, huh?
Sorry for laughing so much.
There's some feminists also who say to themselves, hey, women can lead, man. These men, they keep just taking us into war. That's been a big debate for a long time.
Yeah. Like there has to be some sort of a change because these men, they are just creating havoc and innocent people are just being unalive for no reason.
The thing is this, let's see, we men also, and I'm hoping there's a lot of us, we shouldn't have a problem. Let's see how a woman can do it.
Yeah.
America, who calls themselves the land of the free, the hand of the brave, they say, no, we will not vote for women. Even if you put a black woman there, even black America came out to say, no.
No way, Kamala.
No. even the way Andrew Tate once said, why is a woman flying my plane? Most women cannot drive. Why is a woman flying my plane?
Oh. The one who got him in hot water.
That's the tweet that really brought him out. Huh?
Yes.
That was crazy. So anyway, she's decided, she's made up her mind. These are my 3 pillars: corruption, boost the economies, and gender equality. It's something to watch closely. And she actually came out here and fired a minister. Ministers in Namibia can only be appointed by the House of Chamber unless a president themselves appoints one as a non-elected member of the House or of the Assembly. Yes, she had appointed one guy there as the Minister of Agriculture. But that particular Minister of Agriculture, she had to fire him
Swiftly
after 1 month
Eh.
because he's involved in gripping allegations
Oh my Lord.
from cases stemming back to 2019. The Minister of Agriculture, I forgot his name. I don't remember a lot of puppets' names. Only the main puppets. These ones in the members and the assemblies, I don't pay too much mind to them. But she fired him. Yeah, she says, we don't need this. He was actually also supposed to hand in his resignation.
But he probably said, no way.
I'm sure we're all innocent out here until proven
I didn't
guilty.
do it.
Namibia. German colonization from 1884 to 1915. From 1884 to 1915, like we said already. So the Germans, colonization. Do you still remember that stupid show in UK with that lady Carol Malone? Carol Malone. Good Morning what?
Good Morning Britain.
There's a show on Good Morning Britain hosted by Carol Malone and some other ladies. They were sitting there on some freaking panel talking about the benefits of colonization.
Benefits.
Look here, there was no benefits to colonization. Look at the mess that we're still in. There are neo-colonialism systems out here that these African countries still have to follow. and it hasn't progressed any African country.
No.
The reason why that stupid France is out here fighting to reset relations with these colonies, with Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and West Africa, is because they want to continue on with a system of neo-colonialism where they would benefit like they've always forever benefited.
Yeah.
You understand? So there was no freaking benefits to any colonization. Colonization was only there to loot and to come and set up a system that we will forever benefit from for the rest of time.
Yes.
But these ladies would sit up there on that freaking morning show of Good Morning England or Good Morning whatever and say shit like, we brought transportation there. We
brought education.
We brought creativity because these people didn't have any form of creativity.
Oh,
That was the biggest
That
insult.
was the stupidest thing that the person said. Creativity.
No, it wasn't a stupid thing.
Can you just say people didn't have creativity
It's
just
not
because
a
they
stupid
didn't
thing,
think?
Aline. It's maybe a immoral thing to say, but more than that, it's an insult. It's an insult. Before these people came to colonize Africa, they insulted Africa first. They sat up there and they said to themselves, those are stupid monkeys. They don't have anything. They haven't discovered much. We know what they have over there. They have a lot that we need up here, things that we can put to great use.
Yeah.
Those are only but monkeys. So you take this piece called Namibia, you take this piece here called Democratic Republic of Congo or whatever, you guys go on. But let's just not fight like before. But they insulted, the point here is they insulted Africans first.
Yes.
You can't go and colonize somebody you respect. And so now, if we're talking about neo-colonialism, if neo-colonialism still exists, that's because the insults are still alive and well. The opinion of how they think about African folks is what you're dealing with. Doesn't matter whether you are now a part of the Security Council of the United Nations. Doesn't matter if you're attending any freaking summit out here in 2025. If neo-colonialism systems are still in place, if you're still using the franc,
If you're still asking those countries for aid.
yes, if you're still asking for freaking aid, their opinion of you still stand. In other words, those particular insults are still alive and well.
And they're only growing.
Yes.
The perception of that bad perception that those people have of Africa will continue to grow.
In fact, the insults are becoming even worse now
Yeah.
because they're actually saying to themselves up there, the things you have over there, I'm sorry, something is coming up here. Democratic Republic of Congo. What is it? La
Fachi.
RDC. La RDC est le membre non permanent du Conseil de sécurité des Unis. Oh, Congo. You see, my news comes to me like the spirit. My chest touched it. Congo, the foreign minister of affairs, that lady, she just got appointed into the... Congo is now a non-permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations. Yeah, voted in there. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, do your thing.
Okay.
We're going to go into this later on. Thank you very much. But I was talking about insults here. 1 second, please. So, those ladies, as they set up there in England to talk about the benefits of colonization, is because their opinion of these Africans is still the same opinion that those freaking funding forefathers or those post-colonizers had before they went to go and colonize Africa.
Yeah.
Until this day, the reason why a Donald Trump perhaps can stand up there in the Oval Office and say, there are unaliving white people there. There are unaliving people in South Africa and they're taking their land.
Yeah.
And we're doing everything we can to help these people. I don't care whether they are black or white. The reason why I can say I don't care whether they are black or white, I couldn't care. It doesn't matter to me. But he knows that in Congo, those
There
people
are so many.
in Sudan, in most of these places, in Palestine, But they still come out here and say it like this. That's because their opinion of those African folks down there
It's very bad.
is the same as those freaking colonizers. So anyway, Namibia, formerly known as German Southwest Africa, was colonized by Germany in 1884 during the scramble for Africa. During the scramble.
Can they even say the scramble? Like you're just making eggs, scrambled eggs.
Yeah. They're scrambling for that
Ew.
Africa. They're not even thinking about what's the retaliation. They're scrambling. I'll take this. But maybe there's a strong army. I don't care. What do you mean strong army? Didn't you say these people are monkeys?
Oh my gosh.
I'll take that.
They don't
Close-
know anything, man.
Close to the sea. The Britain took the nicest place. Huh?
Yo.
South Africa there, by the sea. Cape of Good Hope. The German administration quickly imposed strict control. We're talking about Namibia here. Between 1884 and 1915. Often violently suppressing local resistance. This colonial era was marked by exploitation, land dispossession, and the establishment of white settler dominance over indigenous communities such as the Herero,
Yes.
Nama, and Damara. Those three different groups there.
They just took the land forcefully.
Herero, Nama, and Damara.
Damara.
Yes. In 1904 to 1908. 1904 to 1908. 4 years. Over 100 years ago. Huh?
Yeah.
120 years ago. In 1904.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Huh?
Yo.
And I'm only 43.
Jeez.
So 2 of me and almost a half. 3 of me. Ding ding. 3 lifetimes so far. Because I'm going to live past 100. Huh? Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Long time ago, huh?
Yes.
Yes. In 1904, the Herero people, led by Samuel Moharero, rebelled against German colonial rule. Those Herero people, they rebelled against the German colonial rule, followed by the Nama uprising led by Hendrik Witbooi.
Witbooi.
Hendrik Witbooi.
Yes. A white guy.
What is a Witbooi doing there? In Namibia.
What is that one? He's also telling the Germans to go.
Yeah, led by Hendrik Witbooi in 1905. In 1905, yeah. In response, the German military under General Lotho van Trotta issued an extermination order.
Extermination order. Like you're just getting rid of just animals.
This is because it's called the Herero and Nama genocide of the 1904 to 1908. So that particular general of freaking Germany, he ordered an extermination order. It's not the way it happened in Kigali, 1994.
That was by the people.
Between the Hutus and the Tutsis, where we don't have a known name
Of who initiated it.
yes, of who ordered it. They're just too scared to speak here. You know why? Because those ones are black. So any G-side initiated by a white skin, we're talking about the name.
Yes, we'll say the name.
What you gonna do? But those ones down in Kigali, they're just finger pointing. It wasn't us. Why are you saying it's us? You don't have the balls to say it was you.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
And you're still in power. You're still in power in 2025. We know it was you. You're still in power there in Kigali. You understand, huh?
But you have the right to tell people to go to hell. Go to hell.
Yes, but you have the right to tell people to go to hell. You're still in power. You initiate the shooting of that plane, right? Of the president of Burundi. You know yourself, don't you?
Nonsense, man.
Yes.
The white people.
So, over 65,000 Herero 80%, and 10,000 Nama, 50%, were unalived. Survivors were placed in concentration camps where many died from abuse, forced labor, and starvation. Those Germans, they're cruel, huh?
I mean, yeah. Yeah,
The way
look
they
what
put
they
those
even did that.
Namibians.
Yeah, look what they did in their own country, man.
But the way they did it to the... Among themselves, they can continue to do it among themselves. We don't give a crap about that. We have Africa to worry about. Do you understand, huh? I'm fighting for my African people.
Yes.
Yes, but the way they did it in Namibia, concentration camps.
Starvation and dehydration. And even some of them, they even told them to go to the desert. And there they did it by themselves because there was nothing around.
They committed suicide there. And they just ceased to exist because we're talking about a desert
Yes.
where there's nothing. A drought.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Where am I?
And some of them were actually also, after they had passed away, the Germans had shipped the bodies back to Germany
For what?
for science experiments.
Let's use these human bodies for
Yes.
science experiments.
They shipped their skulls, they shipped their remains.
These
and
Germans?
Germans, and they shipped them for racial science studies.
A human being can be evil, huh?
Yo. And that is in the day when technology was not there. So that's what they did to bodies.
So they should thank black people for the technology we have today. You know, even medicine. You know, they experimented a lot of medicine on African people first.
Yeah,
Not
but-
on themselves. But then they want to take the credit for inventing it. But if the black folks were not around for you to freaking try it on, just listen to what the hell we're talking about here. We're talking about evil.
That is like another level, huh? Oh.
Makes you think, there's a reason why we were not born in that generation.
I had the same thought right now. I was thinking, I don't know how I would have done it.
Yo, me, I would have gone for this. What is his name again?
General, what is his name?
Yes, I need to find his name.
General-
Hendrik. No, not Hendrik Woodward.
General
This-
Lothar van Trotha
Yeah, Lothar van Trotha. He would have been my life mission.
to exterminate.
I would have hunt this person. I would have like moved to the outskirts of Namibia. I would have gone to live in the desert, find a camp there, build a life there somehow with some comrades, and just find my whereabouts on how to deal with this one. I know myself. I wouldn't be like, hey, you see, they would have beaten me like, I would have been like a Django. You know Django and Chain?
Yes.
Yeah, because I wouldn't take that crap. I would have been fighting with them every day. Some of them were doing all this labor work. Like those ones who were picking cotton there in the US. You be picking cotton, bro.
Picking cotton and singing.
If I'm picking cotton, you must know that I have a hidden agenda.
There's a plan.
I don't think I'm at work. I'm not at work. I'm doing it because I have a plan. Oh. It's insane, man. And the crazy part about what I'm reading here is that we still live in a day and age where these people still want to continue to benefit from all these atrocities that they committed. We're talking about Namibia. Listen to the freaking types of cruelty. Let me go up here. Where was I now?
And that is also like the part of the atrocity, the G side. That is how they named the independence. The
G-side.
Independence Day, yes.
Yes, I'm about to get to that one now. The genocide is widely recognized as the first of the 20th century, and Germany has since officially acknowledged it. Yes. Germany has acknowledged it. Okay.
Only recently,
Yeah, in 2021.
only 100 years later, You decided.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, descendants of those.
And those little freaking descendants that are still living in Namibia are saying, why do you want to take land that was taken from you 100 years ago?
When
We're talking about 100 years, but you took your 100 years to accept your wrongs.
Exactly. So after you accepted your wrongs, we want our things back now.
I also heard that Germany planned to give Namibia since 2021, since acknowledging that was a genocide that took place between 1904 and 1908, particularly in 1907. Germany said that they would give Namibia $1.1 billion. But they haven't started giving.
So what's up? Oh my gosh. Why are you saying things like that? 3 years later, nothing.
To calm the waters down.
Now this Nandi, you need to push on that, Nyandi.
This one will push.
Get the money.
I would be asking, excuse me, Madam President of Namibia, did they give you the money yet? They have to give you the money. We're going to be out here making sure that we speak loud. Germany, you must give that $1 billion to Namibia. Stop wasting time. This is the first time I'm saying it, and we're going to watch you for the next year. We're going to watch you for the next year, and we're going to remind you throughout the year. You have to be giving that money. You have to give that money, huh? Mm-hmm. Yes. We're out here, we're here to collect. A Congolese person is here to collect on behalf of Namibia, because we are one country. Africa is one country. Give Namibia what belongs to Namibia.
You can't just put it in a we're and think that, it's done.
Here.
No.
This is a new age, huh? Where we are freaking vocal unapologetically. So we don't give a crap, man. If you don't want us to talk about your nature, give the money. They know how low below the belt we can hit them. You know these Germans.
Yes.
So do your thing there, man. It's unapologetic Pan-Africanism. You better get used to it. That's the only way. That's why I say you have to sing that kind of song. Kill the boo, the farmer. Kill the boo, the farmer. And then it plays in the Oval Office.
That will shake them.
That's how you get their attention.
One settler, one bullet.
That's how you get... Hey, that slogan. They don't know about this. A lot of people don't know about the slogan of kill the bull or kill the farmer. The slogan is one settler, one bullet.
They don't talk about it too much.
You better thank Julius he didn't go towards the slogan. Oh my goodness. Anywho. Okay, let me go here. In recent years... Okay, first let me give you this one. Countries and political actors who opposed the atrocities or offered later support. United Kingdom and United States expressed early moral concern, but took no direct intervention.
No, of course.
You know how they come out? We condemn.
There are so many countries in this world that just like to put out that statement and nothing happens.
Yeah. We condemn what is happening. Okay. Good to see you. Bye.
My work here is done for the day.
Yes. You condemn. Hey, man, you must do something. Don't just condemn. African nations and liberation movements in the 20th century supported Namibia's independence cause. In recent years, Germany acknowledged the genocide and pledged 1.1 billion, it says euros here, 1.1 billion euros in aid. Hey, listen to these freaking people, 2021 for reconciliation. Just give the money, they will do with the money what they want to do with the money.
Yeah, man.
In
Not
aid.
Reconciliation, just give.
In aid.
No, man.
You know, actually, a lot of that aid that a lot of African countries get is reparation.
Yeah.
It's not actual help.
It's things that should be given to them.
Yes, but look how they say in aid.
Like you're doing us a favor.
Yeah. It's not a freaking aid, man. You owe us. You have to give it. And then they sometimes still come out and say, but listen, stop doing this, huh?
Shut up, you.
Otherwise I won't give you what I owe you.
Yeah, and that is also what is so...
And then what can you do? You just say, let's go and reset diplomatic relations.
Yeah,
Why are you going to reset? Oh, you don't have the balls to fight. Oh, you don't have permanent seats in the United Nations also.
They don't want to give you voting power.
But you are right. But you can't fight the person that owes you. The system is not designed for you to win your battles. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how they put it. Oh my goodness. South African rule, 1915-1990. After World War I, South Africa administered Namibia under a League of Nations mandate, later annexing it.
Later annexing it.
Yes. After World War I.
Yes.
They just played a game and then they annexed Namibia. They took Namibia.
Hey.
Those Boers, those descendants, those Dutch people, those Hendrik Verwoerd,
Yes.
they took it. South Africa imposed apartheid policies, including racial segregation and forced removals in Namibia.
And they were removed of their basic rights. And they were forced into poverty.
What's taking Namibians and South Africans long for them to understand that they should always stand united for a better future? Because they were all oppressed by the same person,
Yeah.
with the same people.
They share the same history.
Same policies. They were all oppressed by the same person, the same people, the same policy, the same freaking white apartheid South Africa.
The same segregation happened in that country. So they should actually form together somehow. So form together but separately.
What's taking them so long? You must tell them to hit them. You know, you mustn't say to them like, to be a good at. You're sleeping if you don't get it. It's like that. That's how you have to tell them. You have to tell them, look here, you're a fool if you don't consider your other Namibians. If you South Africans and you Namibians don't consider yourself as one, you're fools.
Yeah.
You're fools of note. Fools of note. If you don't see how the land formation currently is there, and it's exactly the same in either country, in both countries, and you're out here I don't ever want to see a South African and a Namibian quarrel.
Fighting. No, there's no need because you are fighting your own people.
Listen, you both come from that crap side. Where that Mulungu has done some atrocities there, huh?
In South Africa, you had 4 more years of it than what they did.
No, it ended in 1990.
Yeah.
The elections only came in 1994. It's still in the 1990. From 1915 to 1990, even in South Africa, that's when apartheid ended. But the ushering in of democracy came in 1994. But already from that 1990, it's La Vida Loca. You can go to the beach. We came in 1991.
Yeah.
Me, black folk, a
Yes.
Congolese guy. I landed in 1991. I was in Sandton.
Doing your thing.
Yes, I was walking freely. There was no segregation. There wasn't a place I couldn't go. We came in 1991. Yes. So, in 1996, armed struggle began with the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, as the main liberation movement. The United Nations revoked South Africa's mandate in 1996, but Pretoria ignored it.
Pretoria said, no way.
South Africa said no way. South Africa is represented by that Pretoria as the capital city.
Yeah.
South Africa said no. What United Nations? You see, it's white people who were there.
Yes.
White descendants, those people that even Elon Musk's father was
Those
benefiting.
types.
Elon Musk's father, those types, they were benefiting from the system, the way that it is in both South Africa and in Namibia. They were both benefiting there. They ignore the United Nations. They can just come out. These white peoples can just come out and ignore the United Nations.
And nothing happens to them.
Yeah, look at Netanyahu. Look at Putin. Put an arrest warrant on any black guy here now.
They will fetch that person wherever that person
They'll
is.
send a freaking Boeing.
Yo,
They'll send drones.
you quick.
Sanctions, drones. The guy is picked up.
It's like, why?
Because he's black, that one.
This white
Look, it's
white
because that one is
supremacy.
black. It's because that one is black. That one, he cannot hide. Don't even give him a chance. They'll come, and then the same people, the same United Nations will come out here and say, look, there's an order.
You're talking about there's an order for Netanyahu as well, man.
They don't give a crap. Netanyahu still went to the US.
He sat in the cabinet.
Hey, he still gave a speech there. He still gave a speech.
These people are hypocrites, man.
That's why whenever I stand around anyone, black or white, especially white, hello, uncensored, especially when I stand around white folks, I know I'm not racist, but I have to scan the guy from every single freaking gesture to whether he responded or not, his body language, whether he's looking at me or not, the whole freaking 9-yard, man. If I detect a sense of racism, I've already adopted a certain fashion with him. I'm not gonna come out right here and return the freaking favor, or to be looked at as to be evil.
Yeah.
To undermine or to do that. Of course, I'll vacate the premises and leave and pick my company, right? But immediately, I've never really truly experienced racism towards me. I've never.
I think I have, but it doesn't really.
This person is being racist to me.
Yeah. No, I have actually.
I have never.
I have as a child, yes.
Really?
Yes. Like, when you walk into a store, I'm sure it happened to a few people. It's like I was walking into the store, the store Musica?
Yeah, music store.
Music store, yes. I was wanting to go actually buy a CD at that time. And I had gotten money from my mother. And I was going, and then I was just profiled to say I'm wanting to steal. And they wouldn't let me actually pay for this thing. And then my father had to come into the store.
But maybe it wasn't because
It
you were
was.
Who
It
told you?
was.
Really?
Yes, man.
But you were a kid.
I was a kid, but still I had money in my hand at the cashier wanting to pay for it.
Oh, okay, that's a very small type of example, man.
Still.
You were about to pay, and then they came and said, "No, man, I'm talking about get up, you people mustn't sit here." I'm talking about this is only people cannot. I'm talking about real racism. But anyway, South Africa, Pretoria ignored it, huh? Pretoria said no, we will not obey any form of freaking United Nations. We're not interested. We will do whatever we want to do. Namibia, since independence, from 1990 to today, to 2025. Who's this little boy here? Somebody, Joseph. Somebody said, this guy always wearing the same shirt. Awkward. Joseph, shut your freaking hell up and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. You see, we are not the same age, huh? Don't you see this gray hair here? Don't you know that the rules can have 10,000 of the same type of shirt? Go to my Instagram and see if you see the same shirt there. One shirt of mine on that Instagram banner up here can pay your rent, boy. Let me give it to him that way. You should be lucky the rules is here. The rules is talking. Don't come up here with crap. I'm not going to block you because you're just a kid maybe. So we'll just have mercy on you. Anyway, let's go to Namibia. The ruling party, SWAPO. Why do they call this party SWAPO? SWAPO?
SWAPO.
Like SWAT team.
They make the changes and fast. They interrogate. They go in for the details.
They came to because they're Liberation Party.
Yes.
So SWAPO.
Yes. SWAPO. It's they've dominated since 1990. Yes. And they actually want this Nyandi to be the first to make the changes because they had such a bad reputation. They are hoping that Nyandi will be the face of change that will put SWAPO in a better light with the citizens of Namibia. So for her
They'll
to
put who? Swapo in the better light.
SWAPO in a better light, yes, to change the way because of those three pillars that she wants to do: gender equality, economic reform,
No,
and
economic boost
sorry,
and
yeah,
corruption.
and corruption. So obviously, they want to use her to be able to clear that completely.
Swapo. In Southwest Africa. Just listen to the freaking names. This Namibia had no name. They used to call it Southwest Africa.
Yes,
South Africa still doesn't have a name.
it's just the location.
They're still calling it South Africa. The black people in South Africa have been sleeping. When we say that, a lot of people don't get it. They think we're just talking crap. At least Namibia, and I'm sure it was after that, since 1990, probably came to themselves to say, we shall be called Namibia. Please check when did they name themselves Namibia? Because they used to be referred to as Southwest,
Southwest Germany.
Southwest Africa.
No, but before that, it was
Also-
first Southwest Germany, and then it was Southwest Africa.
Oh yeah, because of the Germans. there.
Yes.
But South Africa is still being called South Africa. Founded, okay, so it's like the Southwest Africa People's Organization, okay, founded in 1960s, it transitioned from liberation movement to ruling party, maintains majority rule, but faces growing criticism over corruption, youth unemployment, and land inequality. Tell us something different about this southern part of Africa.
Yeah, it's on June 12th, 1968, the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution proclaiming, in accordance with the desires of its people, that Southwest Africa be renamed Namibia.
I'm sure it was the Namibians themselves that proposed that name.
Yeah, that is by the desires of its people. So from the desires from the Namibians itself.
Said remove the name. But South Africa, they had conditions on them. You shall never change this name. Because it doesn't make sense that it's still called South Africa there. And only in 1990, they were the late ones to abolish that apartheid.
Yeah. They're
Inequality.
late to the game.
This SWAPO party maintains majority rule but faces growing criticism over corruption, youth unemployment, and land inequality. It's the same party also that's been in power since. Just like in Mozambique, where you have Frelimo party, who's also been in power since 1975
Yes.
as the ruling party until now. There's Daniel Chapo, who's the new president of of Mozambique.
Yes.
And they got their independence from the Portuguese. Portugal.
And it's so funny because, they got the independence from Portugal, but, when that thing happened, that whole little disagreement with the presidential elections, that Venancio, he actually went to the Portuguese for help. So it's like, what is the point of being independent if you're still going back to your colonizers?
That's how these puppets are. That's how these documents are signed. We'll give you independence, but you must sign here. Even at South Africa, even at Namibia, I'm sure there are documents where they've signed. You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm telling you. That's what. Otherwise, these people will be out here changing systems like crazy.
Yeah.
Why are those statues still there in South Africa?
Because they told them, you cannot remove this. This is where your history lies. It's in the colonial signatures there.
Democratic framework. Namibia operates under a multi-party democracy. Oh, please. Constitution enshrines human rights, separation of powers, and press freedom. Regular elections have been held every 5 years. Though free, they increasingly show voter fatigue with SWAPO
Photo fatigue.
Yes. Okay, this is the most important part because this is the similarity between Namibia and South Africa. Land ownership and economic disparities. Legacy of colonial land disposition. White Namibians, less than 5% of the population, own over 70% of arable land. A legacy of colonial policies. This is till this day.
Yeah.
Till this day. That arable land is like commercial land, farmer, and all that kind of thing. Till this day, man, indigenous communities were pushed to erode communal lands. Government attempts of reform. Land reform policies have been slow and often criticized as ineffective.
Ineffective.
Willing buyer, willing seller. Model has not significantly redistributed the land. You cannot. That
A
willing buyer, willing seller.
No, willing buyer, willing seller, you still have to actually talk to the seller and say, okay, do this, do that. But no, it's no.
In other words, they're saying there shall be compensation. There's no such thing as repatriation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no such, it's not like in South Africa where they are fighting for repatriation of land without compensation. Here in Namibia, they're saying there must be a willing buyer and a willing seller. That's the motto, you know? But which willing buyer, which indigenous willing seller, or which indigenous willing buyer who benefited, who can come out here and afford 70% of that land?
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
They already, so it must be somebody from outside, probably some freaking Germans too. Some more Germans will come out here because they can afford it. The indigenous Namibian cannot.
Yes, because it's not going to go back to where they took it from.
Or the government cannot, because they're actually saying they are protecting the rightful ownership of whoever owns the land, that even the government cannot come out here to repatriate. So there must be a willing seller, willing buyer type of thing there. So even that, those descendants that inherited that land, that stolen land that they took through atrocities and violent acts,
Yeah.
the government must come to try to buy it. Go and buy back your belongings from the thieves. We found them. We found them.
So you got your land, they got their land for free. You stole my land, but I have to buy it back from you. It's complete
As even
nonsense.
the freaking government.
Complete nonsense,
Because we're
man.
talking about repatriated into the hands of the state, so that the
Yes.
state can use it for public use. Attempts at expropriation without compensations have faced legal and political obstacles. And so what did you do? You gave up?
It's getting too hard, man. Yo. There's too many people saying, no, this is not going to work.
I'm sure Namibia, or rather the president of Namibia, this particular lady, she watched the confrontation between Ramaphosa and Trump. And how these white folks, these Afrikaners are playing victim in South Africa. And now you said the second group of Afrikaners just left for the US.
Yeah.
You understand? So she sees how the Afrikaners are playing victim in that South Africa because they are threatening repatriation of land without compensation. So whatever Nandi, the president of Namibia, me, first lady, whatever I want to do, if I want to continue, if I want to exercise this repatriation without compensation thing that has faced a lot of legal stuff in the past, I must expect something from that freaking White House. You understand what I'm saying? And these people, Namibia must be learning from South Africa right now. This is how they'll act. They'll come and push a wrong narrative there and say you people are killing cheaters.
Please.
They'll come out here and say you're killing cheaters. And so, sanctions, please.
No, man. Or she must just be smart and just wait for that, for Trump to finish his term.
You know, there's a lot of cheaters in that Namibia. That's why I said cheetahs.
Yeah.
They are known for having a lot of cheetahs. Cheetahs are like all over the place. Where did I read it? Let me read it here. Cheetahs. Let me see. Here. See? Namibia has the largest population of free roaming cheetahs in the world.
Free
Cheetahs.
roaming.
Yes, those cheetahs, those fast animals.
Yes.
Free of them, just roaming. Namibia has the largest population of free roaming cheetahs in the world.
That's pretty nice.
I know you guys know what a cheetah looks like, but you can never be too sure. That's a cheetah. That's a cheetah. Okay? You can never be too sure that everybody knows. Maybe my accent is confusing people. But that's a cheetah right there. That's crazy, huh? Yeah, so you're killing too many cheetahs there. You have to push this narrative.
But Nandi, she's committed to be able to speed up this equitable land thing. So she's implementing a new land value tax that is for underused land. She's supporting urban land access for young families and entrepreneurs. And she's also encouraging cooperative and communal farming modules that help resettle communities to succeed. So she's got that in motion already.
Yeah. Let's see. You have a paragraph there on that. Okay. You get up, man. You chilled out here, huh? Because these people are quiet or what? Let's see. What did you say? Oh my gosh, these boys.
What?
Today we have a bunch of rude boys here, huh?
Oh,
Who said this? This other one is saying, bet he stole that mic. Oh my gosh. Father God, please bless this guy with a mic. He needs a mic, this one.
clearly.
Yes. For him to assume or want to say that maybe I stole this mic is in need of a mic like this. It's true, man.
Yeah.
My friend, just calm down. Just go pray and work.
Just go pray and work. But then another thing also, this major thing that she also did, which obviously we also support, is the fact that she's changed that visa on arrival system for Namibia. Yeah, she's changed
For Namibia?
for Namibia, for people wanting to come to Namibia, how she's changed those
In
visas.
a particular country?
She's done it for Germany, US,
Yeah?
UK,
Oh yeah,
and
we mentioned
others.
this before.
Yes, about 31 countries.
33.
33 countries, yes.
Yes. She did that already.
Yeah, so
we
that-
mentioned this before.
Oh,
Yeah, at the beginning, we in the land reform. Yes. That's why I was saying these Americans must also apply.
yes.
Yes. Urbanization has led the growth of informal settlements. Access to affordable housing remains a key issue, especially in Windhoek, the capital. Yeah, that's Windhoek. Way of life of the Namibian people, ethnic diversity and culture. Namibia is home to numerous ethnic groups. Oshiwambo, 50%. Hiriro, Nama, Damara, San, Kavango. Oh, okay. Afrikaners.
Afrikaners also
And
has.
others. There's some Afrikaners there. They've always been there. You see, so it's those Afrikaners that are the 7% in there.
That own that land.
Yes, the same situation in Africa. Why don't you pick one? You can't be in both Namibia and in South Africa.
They like a lot of things, man.
They want to be able to go to the wine farms there in Stellenbosch in Western Cape and Table Mountain and all those beautiful mountains. But Namibia also has a lot of these special places, huh? They have the highest sand dunes in the world. But Namibia, I think it's in the Namibia way. ocean meets the desert.
Yes, it is.
It's and the other place is in Mauritania. It's only Mauritania in northwest Africa, and this Namibia that's in the southwest Africa, where the ocean meets the desert.
Where the Namib Desert meets the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, well, the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it's Atlantic, it's on this side. India's on the other side. No, you said it as if you're correcting me. Where the desert meets the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, it's the ocean.
Yes.
But it's Namibia and
Mauritania.
yeah, Mauritania. Each group has rich traditions, languages, and festivals. Religion and belief system, predominantly Christian, 80 to 90%, mainly Lutheran and Roman Catholic. Indigenous spiritual practices still exist, especially among the San and Himba. Indigenous spiritual practices. Yeah, I don't like to go too close to stuff like that. My friend, it's only Jesus Christ out here.
These practices.
Indigenous. They're trying to say voodoo. Praying to the ancestors.
Ah.
Which ancestors? I hope it's not between 1884 and 1915.
No. Those ancestors need to stay there.
Or between 1904 and 1908. Anywho, Netumbo Nandi, born October 29th, 1952, in Onamudia, Oshana region, joined SWAPO in the 1970s, trained to the Soviet Union and Zimbabwe. She trained in the Soviet Union and in Zimbabwe? Held multiple high-profile posts: Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Environment, Deputy Prime Minister, and Minister of International Relations and Corporations. Geez, she's had a lot of titles, huh?
She's had some titles. She's got experience, so she knows what she's doing.
In 2024, elected president of Namibia, the first woman to hold the office. Anti-corruption campaign launched the Clean Namibia initiative, resulting in multiple resignations and investigations. So because she launched that, the Clean Namibian initiative, some resignations came.
Very fast.
And some investigations were initiated on some Namibians who are out here freaking stealing, doing the puppet thing. It's a normal trend here in Africa for people to be stealing these puppets.
And they don't want to face the consequences, so they just quickly want to get out. But it's going to follow those people.
They don't expect consequences.
They don't want the consequences of, being held accountable. Sorry.
They don't expect it. They don't even think. They'll be like, why are you investigating? You should be eating yourself wherever you're sitting. Why are you opening this investigation? I know you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's how deep it goes over there. Land Justice Commission, established to receive and speed up land reform, including proposals of urban housing reforms. Youth unemployment, coordinated national job creation projects and skills training programs. These are all the achievements so far in 2025.
Yeah.
Gender parity drive, strengthened representation of women in all spheres of government.
All spheres of government.
Yeah. Notable women appointed by President Nandi-Ndaitwah. Saki Shangala, Minister of Justice. Lucia Umpumbu, Minister of Trade and Industrialization. Amma Theophilus, Minister of Information and Communication Technology. Sarah Kugongelwa Amandliha, appointed Special Economic Advisor. Pauline Dempers, Human Rights Commissioner. Lloyd Kasingo, Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Monica Giangos, Chair Presidential Economic Advisory Council. Pendukeni Livula, Minister of Defense. Even the Minister of Defense is a woman. Look, this is how you fight.
Nice.
This is how you fight. Don't fight like that. You people have been watching the wrong things this whole time. We women will teach you how to fight. Okay? That is crazy. Where did my thing go now? Okay, here. Minister of Defense. Esther, Deputy Minister of Health. And Hilma, Minister of Urban Development. That's 10 women.
In government positions, higher government positions.
In government position. And there's still 2 more women above these women. The Speaker and the Vice President and her. So there's like 13 women, including her and her Vice President and
The Speaker.
the Speaker, who hold key government positions in the government. It's like 60% of the government, all women. The vision for the future. Namibia Vision 2030 acceleration, commitment to eradicating poverty and enhancing education and health systems. Regional integration, advocates for stronger Southern African development communities, SADC. That freaking SADC.
SADC.
That SADC is... One rebel group defeated that SADC. M23 defeated that SADC.
And now what are they going to do? Nothing. There's like, SADC. That SADC should actually be dismantled. I don't find the use of it.
They should advocate for a stronger cooperation. They need to improve their matters in there. Environmental justice emphasizes green economic, wildlife conservation, and climate change action. Is climate change what? Climate change. Regional and international relations. Africa-centric foreign policies. Okay, no, that's nothing. We've already said
Also,
that.
there's a free higher education for Namibia. So President Nandi approved a groundbreaking policy to abolish tuition fees for public higher education starting in 2026.
Free higher education.
Free higher education.
What is that, like university?
Universities,
For who?
yes.
How are they gonna make money?
Students,
For free?
yes. So they're saying that how the tuition fees will be covered for the Namibian students will be attending the public universities and training. The state will establish a higher education equity fund to finance all of that. And then additional support like the food, housing, and materials that can be supplied by the actual parents of the students. But the actual like studies and everything, it is under the government.
There's no conditions there. You must be an A student. They
So
always
far,
put
there's no sort
conditions
of there's
for
no
free
sort.
on everybody. If she does that, very good.
I think
starting next year, 2026.
2026. I think it will pose a bit of challenges because it's a bit there. I'm supposed
Of
it has
course,
to.
whenever money needs to come out,
Yeah.
some people will be unhappy that side.
Because I can see like the way she's going with it, but I just find it a bit yeah, I mean people have to pay for the
No,
education.
free education is nice.
But
It's a good thing.
tertiary education.
It should have been this lower education here. It
Yes.
should have been primary and secondary education, not tertiary, man.
Yeah.
We don't even need tertiary. We
There's a
don't need
school of
tertiary.
life.
You just need high school, and then especially in 2025, 2026, you just need to pick your field immediately already. Come up to be a B21, know how to read and write, do maths and science, and then pick your career and then just streamline it. Not to go to a tertiary where you have to learn 6 different subjects on this, 6 different subjects on that. Unless if you want to be a freaking pilot or a medical doctor or an architect or something, then go for these degrees.
Yeah.
But this school of just going to school, man, I'm not doing what I studied. So, sorry, I'm not saying I'm right. I just think that we live in a world where it's very easy to make money.
Yes.
And to do things. Look, Donald Trump did not study what he's doing.
And look where he is. Goodness.
He's a president, but he was a business entrepreneur guy.
He was just buying properties.
He was a real estate guy.
Yeah.
Now he's the president of the free world. So if you think you go to university to study marketing, you might not do marketing when you grow up, when you go out there.
Yes.
But anyway, it's a good thing. I don't know how many countries out here are giving free educations in Africa.
Higher education.
Free tertiary.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I think we've come to the conclusion of this stream. For today, we'll be back tomorrow early. Keep saying we'll be back early, but I'm a busy guy. I'm sorry. I'm a busy guy, bro. Sadek is a soccer team. Exactly, Hussein. Those people just play soccer. Those are a soccer. It's a corrupt soccer team.
Soccer team that doesn't get any goals.
Yes, they don't score any goals. Those ones. They keep scoring their own goals.
Yes.
Only on goal, on goal, on goal, on goal. Corruption, corruption, corruption. They go to East Democratic Republic of Congo and then they run away again. That's an own goal. It's true. Anywho, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Hussein. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
you
guys.
And,
Much love.
Wait. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Much love.
Much
Go
love,
ahead.
guys. Much love. Thank you so much, guys. God bless.
Later. Bye.